Men don't fall in love the same way women do, and they have specific emotional and psychological requirements that must be satisfied before they can move from attraction into genuine, lasting love. The reason why this happens is because men's brains are wired differently when it comes to emotional bonding and attachment. So, while women often fall in love through emotional connection and intimacy, men fall in love through a series of psychological safety checks that must be satisfied before they can access their deeper emotions. These aren't conscious requirements that men deliberately impose. They're subconscious psychological needs that either create the conditions for love to flourish or create barriers that prevent it from developing. That's why when these needs aren't met, a man might feel attracted, interested, or even infatuated, but he can't move into the deeper emotional territory where lasting love lives. Understanding these requirements isn't about changing yourself to please men or suppressing your own needs. It's about recognizing the psychological environment that allows men to feel safe enough to open their hearts completely. When you understand what men need to feel emotionally secure, you can create relationships where love develops naturally rather than forcing it through pressure or pursuit. Most women focus on showing more love to get love in return, but men need these foundational psychological needs satisfied before they can even access their capacity for deep emotional investment. It's not that they don't want to love deeply. It's that they literally can't when these core requirements aren't met. Hi, I'm Gabriel Hart from My Daily Love, and in this video we'll talk about the 5 specific psychological needs that must be satisfied before men can fall into lasting love, and why understanding these requirements changes everything about how you approach relationships. And once you understand what creates emotional safety for men, you'll not only be able to inspire deeper commitment naturally, but you'll also be able to build relationships where both of your deepest needs are satisfied without compromising your own worth or authenticity. Need number 1, respect before romance. The foundation of a man's ability to fall in love isn't feeling loved, it's feeling respected, because for men, respect is the emotional oxygen that allows all other feelings to flourish, and without it, even the strongest attraction will suffocate and die. Most women think that showing more love, affection, and care will make a man fall deeper, but men are wired differently. We crave admiration and respect more than constant affection because respect validates our core identity and worth as men. When a man feels dismissed, judged, or belittled, even in small ways, it creates an emotional wall that prevents love from growing. He might stay attracted to you, he might enjoy your company, but he can't open his heart fully to someone who makes him feel inadequate or criticized. Respect for men isn't about submission or losing yourself. It's about acknowledging his efforts, appreciating his contributions, and speaking to him in ways that honor his dignity rather than diminish it. This need is so fundamental that men will often choose a woman who respects them over a woman who loves them more intensely but doesn't show that respect. Love without respect feels suffocating and conditional to men. The key insight is that respect creates the emotional safety men need to be vulnerable. When a man feels respected, he feels safe to show you his softer side, his fears, his dreams, the parts of himself that love actually grows from. Need number 2, safety in his masculinity. Here's what most women don't understand about male psychology. Men need to know they can lead, provide, or protect without their masculine instincts being mocked or dismissed, because love only blooms when his masculinity feels honored, not threatened. Modern dating often sends mixed messages to men about their masculine role, leaving them confused about whether their natural instincts to lead, provide, and protect are welcome or problematic. This confusion creates anxiety that prevents deep emotional connection. Men fall in love where their strength isn't just tolerated, it's valued. When a man feels like his desire to take care of you, solve your problems, or lead in certain situations is appreciated rather than resented, it creates the emotional environment where love can develop. This doesn't mean you have to be helpless or dependent. It means allowing him to express his masculine nature in ways that feel natural to him while maintaining your own strength and independence. When men feel like their masculinity is constantly questioned, criticized, or seen as toxic, they retreat emotionally. They can't fall in love with someone who makes them feel like their core nature is problematic. The safety to be masculine allows men to also be vulnerable. When they don't have to defend or hide their masculine instincts, they have emotional energy available for the softer emotions that create deep love. Need number 3, freedom before commitment. What if the secret to making a man commit isn't convincing him he needs you, but proving to him that you don't need to trap him? Men can't love if they feel trapped, and true commitment only happens when freedom isn't stolen, but freely offered. The paradox of male psychology is that men commit most deeply when they feel they have the freedom to leave. When a woman respects his independence and doesn't try to control or possess him, he freely chooses closeness because it doesn't feel like a prison. Men have a deep psychological need for autonomy and self-determination. When they feel like a relationship is limiting their freedom, restricting their choices, or requiring them to give up essential parts of themselves, they can't fully invest emotionally. But when a man feels like he's choosing to be with you every day, when he feels like you support his independence while also creating something beautiful together, he can fall deeply in love because the relationship enhances his life rather than limiting it. This need for freedom isn't about wanting to be with other women or avoiding responsibility. It's about maintaining his sense of individual identity and choice within the relationship. The women men fall deepest in love with are those who make them feel more free to be themselves, not less free. They create space for his individual growth while building something meaningful together. But here's what most women get completely wrong about giving men freedom. They think it means being distant, unavailable, or playing hard to get. The truth is, there are specific ways to honor his need for freedom while still building deep intimacy and connection. It's not about being less involved. It's about being involved in ways that feel supportive rather than suffocating. Most women accidentally trigger his trapped feeling through subtle behaviors they don't even realize are controlling. Understanding these freedom killers is crucial because even one of them can prevent him from falling into deep love, no matter how perfect you are in every other way. The difference between women who inspire commitment and those who trigger escape isn't about how much love they offer. It's about how they offer that love in ways that honor his psychological need for choice and autonomy. Comment freedom, and I'll reveal the 3 specific behaviors that accidentally make men feel trapped, even when you're trying to show love, and what to do instead to make him choose you freely every single day. Need number 4, emotional acceptance without fixing. While women often try to help men by offering solutions or improvements, what men actually need before they can fall in love is emotional acceptance without the pressure to change because they need space to be vulnerable without losing respect or facing criticism. Men fear opening up emotionally because they expect their vulnerabilities to be met with attempts to fix them, change them, or improve them. This fear prevents the emotional intimacy that's necessary for deep love to develop. When a man shares his struggles, fears, or weaknesses, he needs to know that you can hear his flaws without making him feel flawed. He needs acceptance of his imperfections without immediately being given a plan to address them. Men fall for the woman who can witness their emotional reality without trying to manage it, solve it, or improve it. This kind of acceptance creates the safety they need to share more of their inner world. The instinct to help and fix comes from love, but it often prevents men from feeling truly accepted. When they feel like their emotions are problems to be solved rather than experiences to be shared, they stop sharing. Emotional acceptance doesn't mean accepting bad behavior or avoiding important conversations. It means creating space for his feelings without immediately moving into solution mode. Need number 5, proof that you're different from the rest. Men meet plenty of women throughout their lives, but they fall in love with the one who breaks the pattern of their previous experiences, not by chasing harder or being more available, but by holding higher standards and demonstrating genuine uniqueness. Most women try to stand out by being more accommodating, more understanding, or more available than other women. But this approach often makes them blend in rather than stand out because it follows the same pattern men have experienced before. Men fall in love when they realize you're not replaceable. You're rare. This rarity isn't about playing games or being difficult. It's about having genuine standards, boundaries, and a sense of your own worth that sets you apart. Love grows when he realizes that losing you would mean losing something irreplaceable, not just losing another option. This realization only comes when you demonstrate through your actions that you're different from his past experiences. The difference isn't in what you do for him, it's in how you carry yourself, how you value yourself, and how you require to be treated. Men fall in love with women who clearly know their worth and won't accept less than they deserve. This uniqueness creates what psychologists call scarcity value. The recognition that what you offer isn't available elsewhere and can't be easily replaced. Now, here's what happens when you understand the 5 psychological needs that must be satisfied before men can fall into lasting love. You realize that creating the right emotional environment isn't about changing yourself or suppressing your needs. It's about understanding how to build relationships where both people feel safe to love deeply. When you provide respect, honor his masculinity, preserve his freedom, offer acceptance, and demonstrate your uniqueness, you create the conditions where genuine love can flourish naturally. But here's what most women don't expect when they start implementing these psychological principles. They begin attracting men who seem perfect on the surface, men who say all the right things about wanting love, who appear to appreciate their respect and acceptance, who seem ready for something real. But then they discover that some of these men have been using their understanding of female psychology to manipulate multiple women simultaneously. See, there's a crucial difference between a man who genuinely needs these psychological conditions to fall in love and a man who's learned to exploit women's desire to meet these needs. Some men have discovered that appearing to value respect, masculinity, and acceptance is an effective way to gain access to multiple women without offering genuine commitment in return. The most sophisticated players aren't the obvious ones who use casual connection scripts. They're the ones who've learned to speak the language of emotional depth while maintaining a lifestyle of variety and non-commitment. They know exactly what to say to make each woman feel special and chosen while keeping their options open. These men have extensive sexual histories not because they're honest about wanting casual connections, but because they've mastered the art of making each woman believe she's different, that she's the one who's finally inspired them to want something real. The phrases they use aren't the obvious casual connection indicators. They're much more sophisticated statements that sound like genuine emotional investment, while actually serving their strategy of maintaining multiple options. That's why learning to identify these verbal patterns is crucial, because it helps you distinguish between a man who genuinely needs psychological safety to love and a man who's learned to weaponize your desire to provide that safety for his own benefit. So, if you want to protect yourself from men who use sophisticated manipulation tactics disguised as emotional depth and recognize the specific phrases that reveal extensive sexual experience, then our new video will show you the 7 things that expose their true history. Please click on the video that's showing on the screen right now and you'll see their patterns revealed.